Hello there, everybody, and welcome to Harrah's Hoosier Park as we take another step on the road to the Derby. Michael Chamberlain and Jacob Reinheimer here in the Dan Patch studio. And Jacob, this week we are going to look at the Grade 2 Rebel at Oaklawn Park in Arkansas. But before we tackle the race, we should announce that we're going to have a bit of a change to the contest as a result of the race day being changed.
Yeah, everything kind of got turned upside down a little bit with the weather, kind of that we're getting across the country, but it is going to affect Oaklawn Park as they moved everything back a day. So this Rebel Stakes is going to take place on Sunday. That being said, we are still going to accept entries starting on Saturday as we would normally for this Road to the Derby contest. You can make your selection starting at 11 a.m. at a trackside promotional kiosk here at Hoosier Park, and we will accept entries all the way until 6:23 p.m. on Sunday on that kiosk, which is the anticipated post time for the Rebel Stakes. So you're going to get an extra day to get those Road to the Derby selections in for this week.
Yes, and that is certainly good to know as we will have this race now on Sunday as opposed to the original plan for Saturday. And the tip sheet this week is going to be Oaklawn Park, but it's going to be the Saturday card. So we're going to talk about the Rebel here. A big field of 14 going a mile and a 16th. And man, if you get parked out in those outside spots, that could be a very tough trip.
Yeah, absolutely. A very interesting race where I think we're getting, 9-2 on the morning line favorite, or 4-1 rather, with Sandman, who's going to be our top selection. So it looks to be wide open, a number of different directions you can go.
Yeah, and of course, last week, Magnitude wins at 43-1. Built, of course, can't hold on for seconds, so some of us can get the exacta. But I did scratch into a point because Jonathan's Way, my original top pick, did end up scratching there, and Built was my second choice. So I have 2 points now on the road to the Derby, and you're still sitting on
7.
Seven,
Yep.
7, that's right, because you had the single, too, with the horse down at Tampa. So as we take a look at our selections on this field of 14, Jacob and I not only have the same top pick in the 3 Sandman, we do agree on the same second pick with the 13 Tiz-tastic. But let's talk about that top pick first. $1,000,002 was the purchase price for this horse in March of 2024. A Gray Colt by Tappet out of a Distorted Humor mare.
Yeah, there is a lot to like here for Sandman. For trainer Mark Cassidy coming off a very good second-place effort to Speed King, who is also in this Rebel Stakes. Last time out in the Grade 3 Southwest, I thought it was a good effort, though. He had a tough start, did Sandman, and I thought he recovered well. He was picking up ground on Speed King at the end of the race, so I think he's only continuing to get better. As we're seeing, he's taken on Graded Stakes Company 3 times already in his young career, so he's used to racing horses at this level, and I think he's poised to break through to get that first Graded Stakes victory.
And Speed King is part of this field, is the 11 horse who is my third choice. But I think the issue with Speed King here is, 1, the outside post and that short run to the first turn, and 2, he's got to get the lead. Got to go to the lead, and I think there's going to be enough speed inside of this horse that it's going to certainly be an issue for Speed King and Rafael Bejarano. Innovator, the 8 horse should go. The 9 Smoke and Wicked should also go. Looking further to the inside, the 1 horse Coal Battle went gate to wire last time out. So I think there's going to be a lot of early pace in this race, and I think that could compromise the chances of Speed King, which is part of the reason why I not only landed on Sandman coming in off of that race where you had a bad start and got caught 5 wide and still only lost to Speed King by a length, but also the 13 Tiz-tastic, who is our co-second choice, who also should not be so affected by the outside post, because it shows more propensity to sit mid-pack, sit, kind of, just off the pace, and I think could work out a bit of a better trip. This horse is by Tiz the Law out of a Tappet mare, so Tappet prevalent on both of our top selections here.
Yeah, I think there's a lot to like here, and Steve Asmussen coming up with that huge victory last week in the Risen Star at Fairgrounds, and I think there is a lot to like for Tiz-tastic. He's hit the board in each of his last 3, all against Graded Stakes Company, including a third-place effort last time in that same Southwest, which Speed King and Sandman are coming out of that. Prior to that, third at Churchill Downs against Grade 2 companies. So I think he's only getting better. You trust Steve Asmussen. He's always going to have a couple on this road to the Derby. Still looking for that first Kentucky Derby. And Tiz-tastic certainly has the pedigree for it, and I think he's rounding into form on this Derby trail.
And that Buzzard's luck did kind of hit with Magnitude, because Magnitude is now off the Derby trail. I guess they found some bone chips, and they're going to take their time with him, trying to get him back back to the races. But so Magnitude, the winner at 43-1 last week, is not going to be back on the road to the Derby. But Steve Asmussen certainly should have a couple of bullets in the holster coming when we get to the first Saturday in May. Now, I mentioned my third pick was the 11 Speed King. You've got one of the other horses I mentioned as a possible speed horse there in third, too.
Going to take a shot on a 15-1 shot, that being number 8, Innovator. Nearly pulled a 16-1 upset in the Lecomte. Last we saw him where he led nearly every step of the way before just getting tracked down late by Disco Time and Built. But I thought that was a huge effort. Got away with some cheap fractions on the sloppy track while cutting the race. But for trainer Dwayne Lucas, I think this horse is going to be in form. And I think there's something to be said for a horse that has the propensity to be around at the wire. He's hit the board in 6 of his 8 career starts, including each of his last 4. And you know Dean Wade Lucas, we always talk about him being one of those old school horsemen.
Yes.
He knows how to keep him sharp, even with this number of starts for a young horse. So I like Innovator. If he can get away with some softer fractions up front, which may be hard in this big field, but I do think he'll be around come the finish.
Let's not forget, Dwayne Lucas just won the Preakness last year, like 9 months ago, 10 months ago, with Seize the Gray. Seize the Gray. I was going to say Seize the Day, and I knew that was wrong. So, but that is our top 3. And now I took a little bit of a shot with the 4th pick, which worked out so well last week because my 4th pick won at 43-1. But I will say, this 4-horse Hypnos. Now, I remember the day this horse debuted on January 18th, sloppy track at the fairgrounds, and I was intending to bet this horse as a debut runner. Ended up, getting distracted doing other stuff in the office, and when I look and see this horse wins at 16-1, I was thinking, well, there goes another one. But this horse is by Into Mischief out of an Uncle Mo mare. Ken McPeak is the trainer, and Brian Hernandez Jr., who I think he knows how to win the Derby because he just did it. I think that's going to be a tough horse. And if this horse happens to do something good come Sunday in the Rebel Stakes here, this horse could be a nice little inexperienced horse to keep an eye on the road to the Derby.
Absolutely, and I rounded out my ticket with the horse right next door, Madaket Road, for trainer Bob Baffert, who absolutely dominated this Rebel Stakes, won it 5 times between 2014 and 2021. So have to imagine he is going to be looking for a nice win here. Madaket Road, he is coming off a 3rd-place effort out at Santa Anita, where I thought the effort was a little bit lackluster. Coming off a 3rd-place effort, just kind of flattened out a little bit in the lane. That being said, I'm just going to trust Baffert in this spot. He's going to be hungry on this Derby trail, so I'm not willing to leave him off my ticket.
When I saw Baffert on that particular horse and the bullet work, 6 furlongs and 112, just on the 16th of February, I was interested by that, but again, hasn't been the distance yet. And that last race you mentioned lost some ground going a mile out there at Santa Anita. And the other thing about that 5 horse, 4th different rider in 4 starts, so that is certainly worth keeping an eye on. But Bob Baffert, so again, he's going to have his share of candidates on the road to the Derby as well. So I think you've got quite a really competitive race here, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch come Sunday for the Grade 2 $1,250,000 Rebel at a mile and a 16th on that Oaklawn main track. Hopefully the weather will cooperate and they'll be able to get through the weekend with no problem, and hopefully we will have I need a winner. And I'm just going to say we gotta get this horse home come Sunday.
The good news is, with Magnitude winning last week, we didn't lose a lot of ground in the points. Not
No,
many folks
that's true.
had that one, and I think a 40-1 shot finished 2nd in that race as well. So there's no
Yes.
shame in that. We didn't lose much ground getting beat last week.
I recall watching Built with a 3-length lead with 40 yards to go, thinking, hey, someone's going to hit the exacta. Not so much. So that was our look at the next step on the road to the Derby, going through Arkansas. And again, a reminder, the race will be held on Sunday, but you can get your Road to the Derby Challenge selections in starting on Saturday here at Harrah's Hoosier Park, all the way up until Sunday's post time on our trackside promotional kiosks. So be sure to come out here and get that done. And of course, also you can do it up at our satellite sites in New Haven and downtown Indianapolis. So that is our look at the Grade 2 Rebel Stakes for this week on the road to the Derby. For Jacob Reinheimer, I'm Michael Chamberlain, wishing the best of luck to you all.